Greetings. Welcome back to my channel, Ham Radio Test and Review. My name is Dave. My call sign is N8DAV. I live in Prescott, Arizona, and my motto is one test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. Today, I'm going to be doing the remainder of the testing on the iRadio UV-98, which is the same as the Radtel RT-880. For today's tests, I'm going to discuss the antenna that comes with the radio, and then I'm going to do testing on the antenna that comes with the radio, and then I'm going to go out into the field and do some real-world field testing with the antenna that it comes with and with a signal stick antenna, just as a comparison. So kick back, relax, and we'll get to it here in just a second. This particular radio is advertised by iRadio as being able to transmit from 18 to 64 megahertz and from 136 to 520 megahertz. Now that basically covers some major bands. It covers the 70 centimeter, 2 meter GMRS. It also covers the 10 meter, 11 meter, and the 1.25 meter bands. Unfortunately, my radio came to me not being able to transmit on 10 meter, 11 meter, or on the 1.25 meter band. So this is something that I'm not sure why it doesn't do it. Maybe the radio is defective. Obviously, it's nothing I'm doing. I know how to program these things, and it just should work right out of the box, and it does not. So what I've decided to do, though, is to continue and finish my testing of the radio on the standard 70 centimeter, 2 meter, and the GMRS bands, as I usually do. So here is the antenna that comes with the radio. It is approximately 8 inches long. It's a rubber type antenna. The curious thing, though, is that even though this radio is designed to transmit from 18 to 64 megahertz and from 136 to 520 megahertz, it can be considered a tri-band radio, meaning it should transmit on 1.25 megahertz. But the antenna that comes with it is only a dual band antenna. That means that even though it's designed to transmit on the 1.25 meter band, they don't give you an antenna that can transmit on the 1.25 meter band. They also don't give you an antenna that can transmit on any of the lower frequencies either, such as the 10 meter and 11 meter. So I have my antenna test bed all set up. I have the stock rubber duck antenna set up on it, and I have the iRadio hooked up to the SWR meter. Normally I use one of my regular radios, but since this is a test of the iRadio and the antenna together, I'm testing both together at the same time. The first test we're going to do is the 2 meter calling frequency test. And as you can see, we get an SWR of about 2.16. Not great, but not bad actually for a HT antenna. Next, we're doing the 70 centimeter test. And as you can see, we get an SWR of 1.01 on the stock rubber duck antenna. And for your GMRS fanatics out there, I will test this on channel 16 of GMRS, and we get an SWR of 1.01. So as you can see, for the dual band, or even tri-band if you want to consider the GMRS third band, this antenna actually looks like it might perform okay. So next thing we're going to do is put it on the antenna analyzer, and let's see how that looks. So I've got out my Nano VNA, and I've set up the antenna on my test bed, and I will turn on the Nano VNA, and automatically it's set to start off on the 2 meter band analysis, and we will look at this. And at the center of the band, we have an SWR of 2.092 approximately. Now that looks pretty darn close to what we got with the SWR meter, real world SWR. And so, you know, this is just verifying that the other meter and this meter also coincide with each other. So we're looking at a SWR of about 2 on the 2 meter band. Let's go to the 70 centimeter band. And we'll look here. We'll set this at the center. And we get an SWR about 1.227, which once again verifies what we got approximately on the other meter, except the other meter was about a little bit better at 1.01. Let's set this up on the GMRS band. And we get an SWR measured at 1.449. Okay, so the antenna definitely is good on 70 centimeter GMRS, and on the 2 meter band, it's just barely okay. So let's take it out into the field and let's determine how it actually works in real world. This is Pioneer Park. It's very, very busy today. You can see the hills in the background. Those are what lies between here and my base station. Okay, we're back at my favorite park that's called Pioneer Park in Prescott, Arizona. I love this park because it's exactly in the right place to test rubber duck antennas and better antennas than rubber duck antennas. And there's just the right combination of rolling hills, buildings, power distribution plant, and lots of high power lines in between here and my base station. It's about 4, maybe 5 miles. And rubber duck antennas have a hard time getting to my base station, even though my base station doesn't have a hard time coming back. So we're going to be testing the iRadio UV-98 with its standard rubber duck antenna right now and right to my base station. This is N8 DAV testing 1, 2, 3. This is N8 DAV testing 1, 2, 3. Well, as you can hear, there was a lot of static. So it definitely has a hard time getting to my base station, but it does do it. And it may just be because on the 2 meter band, which is the one I'm using, this radio does put out almost 8 watts, even though it claims that it's supposed to put out 10. And so it probably is doing okay because of that. When I come back next, I'll be putting on my signal stick and we'll see if that makes anything a little better. I suspect that it will. Okay, we're back, and I have the signal stick antenna installed on the radio. Let's try this. This is N8 DAV, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. N8 DAV, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Well, once again, we had a little bit of static, a little bit less than with the rubber duck antenna, and so it did do a little bit better, but we still had some static, which is unusual for radio with a signal stick. Usually it comes in pretty quiet. So anyway, I will be going back to my ham shack and we will discuss what we found so far with this, and I'll get back to you in just a few minutes. I'm back from Pioneer Park, and so I've been thinking about what we learned today from our antenna testing and from our field testing. The antenna testing shows that on the 2 meter band, the antenna is just barely okay. Maybe a little bit higher than it should be, but for an HT antenna, that's not bad. On the 70 centimeter band and on the GMRS band, the antenna SWR came in really, really good. So if you're going to be doing most of your work on the 70 centimeter band and GMRS, this might be an okay antenna for you. And then we went out to the field and did some field testing. Now, my base station can get back to Pioneer Park very, very quietly. So it really depends upon how the radio gets out to my base station is what the real test of the radio and antenna are. Today, this radio with the rubber duck antenna, the stock rubber duck antenna, got out to my base station and it got out okay. There was some static there, meaning that it wasn't perfect, but it got out fine and it came back fine. With the signal stick antenna, I expected it to do a little bit better, to be a little more quiet, but everyday conditions, who knows? But it did work just fine. So I know that it's working okay. Considering that the radio puts out almost 8 watts, considering though that it's advertised as 10 watts, I'm really getting a little annoyed with these radio companies that are saying, oh, it's a 1,000,000 watt radio and you get 1 watt power output. I don't know. Come on, let's be realistic here. I can test it just as easily as you can. So if you're going to say 10-watt radio, put out 10 watts. That's all I ask. I mean, I don't think that's too much to ask for. Anyway, so it's putting out almost 8 watts on 2 meters, and I expect the reason why it got out okay on the rubber duck antenna was for that reason. So that's a good enough reason. It's a good radio in that respect. So the field testing worked out fine. I didn't try to test it on the 1.25 meter band like I usually do because it doesn't transmit on the 1.25 meter band, even though it's advertised as doing so. So, the radio's got some problems, but the radio's also got some good points. And I will be doing a video right behind this one, giving you my final thoughts on the radio itself and in its entirety. So anyway, so we've got good field testing on this radio with the rubber duck antenna. And so this is Dave, N8DAV, in Prescott, Arizona. One test is worth 1,000 expert opinions, saying 73s and so long.